when you're planning to get pregnant, when you're pregnant, when you just have your baby, those are the times you enter wait list. Not when your baby is ripe to go to daycare. Now start looking for daycare you might not find. And
alone inside a crowd, 'cause I can't see you anywhere.
hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Omari Videsi. Thanks for clicking on this video. Thanks for joining in as always. Today I'm going to be talking about childcare in Canada. Like, I don't even know why I've not talked about this. And I know that I've made mention of it in bits and pieces in my videos, but I've not done a specific video talking about childcare in Canada. And I have 2 kids now, so I thought, why not share my experience with childcare in Canada, every aspect of childcare in Canada, from taking care of your kids yourself, to daycares, to just what it is like having kids in Canada, and you know all that is in between as well. So I don't ramble too much. If this is what you're interested in, do make sure you sit down, relax, and let's get straight to this video. Now, I've had lots of people that have reached out to me on different occasions. I want to relocate to Canada, I want to come to Canada, and I have a kid, I have 2 kids. How do you think it would be easy navigating this, childcare thing? Do you think it's something that I can do? Are there daycares available? I've heard so many things about unavailability of daycares, and so on and so forth. And sometimes I really don't even know what to tell these people, because there is really no one size fits all answer when it comes to childcare in Canada, and there is really no magic wand that you can use to be able to um, deal with everything that has to do with childcare in Canada. You just have to take it a step at a time, a day at a time, and you just do what you can do and what works for your family. Now, I just need to put a bit of perspective for people who don't really understand why childcare is like a thing to even talk about in the first place. Now, when it comes to Nigeria, nobody really thinks too much of, oh, childcare, because yes, apart from the stress that comes with taking care of kids, which it's a given, everybody knows that it's not easy raising kids, taking care of kids, how you know taking care of another human being, they're literally dependent on you, how stressful, or how it's a task on its own. Aside from that, there's not much stress, or there's not much to think about when it comes to taking care of kids back home, apart from the first thing I said, which is the stress or the challenges or the task that it is on its own. But nobody thinks too much about, oh, I want to take my child to school, and worry so much about it. Sometimes the only thing people might worry about is if they are ready to let their kids go, or if they can afford the type of daycares or schools they want. But everybody has, a community, everybody has family, everybody has helps. There are different things that people have that kind of just helps with raising their kids or taking care of their kids back in Nigeria. Like I said, some people have helps. I had helps back home, even though the help wasn't for my kid or for my daughter, but she made childcare at that point in time a bit bearable for me, or taking care of my daughter a bit bearable for me, because I didn't need to worry about doing all the other things while I was able to face my child. And if I needed to go to work, and that's if I wasn't the type of mother who wanted to just be by my child for that first 1 year, or for that first year, if I needed to go to work, I could also find like a nanny who would live in. That's what a lot of people do. People have live-in nannies, or nannies that will come and leave maybe when you're back from work. And some people also resort to going to daycares or taking their kids to daycares. Some people even have mothers or mother-in-laws who are free, maybe they are retired, or they are maybe market women or business women who can kind of help them look after their kids. See, the list goes on when it comes to helping you take care of your kids, because to be sincere, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to take care of a child. So, because of that knowledge, everybody doesn't mind, or lots of people, if you have a good if you have good company or good people around you, neighbors, friends, family, friends, and even your parents, you realize that you would find help at some point in time when you need it. And that's back home. That's just the part that I needed to make you understand. Now, comparing it to being in Canada, being in diaspora, it's a different ball game. It's a you're on your own kind of thing. First of all, Canada is a multi it's a country filled with all kinds of people from different parts of the world. You don't have all your family members with you here in Canada or in diaspora. And apart from that, the system is different here where everybody has to hustle. You can't just do one type of simple job that will be able to foot your bills, because your house rent is not a 1 year, it's not a yearly house rent. You pay monthly, your bills are monthly, so everybody needs to chip in. So you don't have anybody that is just free, jobless, not doing anything that can help you take care of your kid. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to babysitting, when it comes to nannies and all those things, these are people that they earn hourly, just like you. It's not like back in Nigeria where you can just pay 50,000 naira monthly or even less to house helps, nannies, and people who help you with your kids. Here, they earn hourly. A nanny might even be earning more than you self, because some of them have better, like they charge a different type of, not all of them earn like $18 or even the minimum wage. Some of them have, they charge more than the minimum wage for their services. And you might be earning you might just be earning the minimum wage, maybe $18, $15, depending on what the minimum wage is in your province. And you now need the service of somebody who will be earning more than you. Does that even make any sense? It doesn't make any sense. So that alone, it's a challenge. The fact that you need to work because the bills keep piling up. But at the same time, it's very hard to find somebody readily available that is also affordable. We There's a whole lot of cheap labor when it comes to Nigeria, because there's so many people and there's just not a system or a structure that makes labor pretty much standard. In a way, it's a good thing. In a way, it's also a bad thing, if you get what I mean. But here, whatever the case may be, no single person should earn or is allowed to be paid or earn anything lower than the minimum wage. So you just can't even afford to do that, but you need to work. When it comes to daycare, there is no availability of daycare. Back in Nigeria, there are daycares for kids as young as 6 months, even 2 months. Some daycares take kids as young as 2 months. Some daycares take kids as young as 1 year old. But here, I think the standard is 1 year here. There are some daycares that will not even take you at 1 year, or not take your child at 1 year. Some daycares will wait for your child to be 2 years old or even 3 years old. There were some daycares that, because of Sekina was not yet 3 years old, it's not maybe they didn't have vacancy, but they were taking kids from 3 years old. And even that 3 years old, some daycares don't even have like that long hours where they run. So some of them might do morning time alone, and that morning time might be from 8 to 12, and they might have afternoon time another time. So you don't even have, some daycares don't have that time frame you need for you to be able to get a job within that time frame, like the 9 to 5 or 9 to 4. But you have some daycares that do. So I just want you to know the differences. Why childcare is a big thing, is a big deal. It's something that a lot of people are usually concerned about, because where will I put my kids? Or that means I'm not going to get a job, if you get what I mean. And the list goes on when it comes to the reason why it's a big of a deal when talking about daycare or childcare rather, when you're in Canada, when you're abroad. Now I'm going to just use my own experience or my own story or my own journey to just shed more light on it and how we were just able to navigate it, or we've been able to navigate it so far. Now for us, when I was coming to Canada, I kind of prepared my mind that, okay, Tekina is not yet has not yet been going to daycare, so I'm not just going to be hurry, or I'm not going to hurriedly put her into daycare. I knew that there wasn't availability of daycare as there were back in Nigeria, but I just did not know how bad it was. I just prepared my mind that I'm not thinking of taking her to daycare. I'm going to go straight to looking for a work from home job. On getting here, I realized the work from home job I thought, or how I thought work from home job wasn't how it really is. It's not a job that you can do when you have distraction. At the end of the day, you still need to literally be on your own, because you will not be able to focus, especially if you're doing customer service jobs. And most work from home jobs that are I know are available are usually customer service jobs. So you will not just be able, sometimes even in the application or in their requirements, they will let you know no distraction, they're not taking care. They would kind of give an undertone. They will not tell you directly that you should not have a child, but they will just let you know, and you would use your senses to know that I don't think I'll be able to focus on this job and still take care of a toddler or my baby. And then I just had Sekina at that point in time. She was a toddler when we came here. So I just had to just my husband and I, we just came to an agreement that okay, no problem. It doesn't seem as if I'll be able to get, this full-time work from home job. Maybe I can look for a part-time job, or better still, just stay back at home, take care of her, and find something I can get doing, maybe an online course, or maybe go to school. There are so many online schools available. And that was what I worked towards. I focused on my content creation, and I started a course, although I'm yet to finish that course, but I started a course, and it's been working. It was working, or it had been working for us around that point in time, because at the end of the day, if you try to look for a daycare, you're also going to pay for the services of the daycare. Even though, yes, looking at it is different, because even if you pay for the services of the daycare, you will still have some money left compared to you not even working at all. But I just looked at it as from that angle, that it's still somebody that will have to watch over this child. So let me just do my best. And when the time is right and we're able to find a daycare for her, I would know that I'll be able to work. That was even before I had another baby, or I got pregnant with another baby. So that was just the plan. We just, it was just like the sacrifice I had to make, because indeed it is a sacrifice. I also have my goals, I have my career. I'm a pharmacologist by profession. That's what I studied, and I've had opportunities to get jobs, and I've had offers or opportunities to get jobs in that field or something close to that field that I had to turn down. And that was because of childcare. Now, I didn't mind making that sacrifice, because we did a calculation and realized that it's still something we can live. If we live with that within our means, we can still sustain ourselves with one man job. And that's just what worked for us. It's not something that necessarily have to work for everybody. And like I said, or just in case I've not said it, one thing I realize is that there are certain things that, even though we have the a general challenge, we all address, or we all tackle it differently. For some people, taking their kids to daycare, I'm going to go there, but there's some daycares that are available for kids even younger than 1 year, and even younger than 2 years old. And some people don't mind doing that, because that is what works for them. So I'm going to get there, as I was saying, and that was just what happened around that time. But when we first came, even though Sekina had not gotten a daycare, we were still able to like just apply to different daycares, and we're on lots of daycares waiting lists. To be sincere, we didn't really have so much hope around that time, because we've read so many things about this waiting list, and how sometimes you'll be on the waiting list for years and you'll still not be called. Even your child might probably reach school age, and you just never get to take your child to that daycare. You probably took your child to home daycares. Now we have home daycares, and we have what do you call it? We have the daycare centers. It could be in the school facility, or it could be a facility on its own. Now we also have license, and we have unlicensed. For the license, that's the license is the one that the government has given you the license to practice as a caregiver, as a child caregiver or minder, or whatever it is that it's called. But the unlicensed one, they don't have that license from the government. Doesn't mean they don't have the experience, doesn't mean they don't have the training, but they've just not been licensed. But to be fair, even though they are not licensed, I'm very sure I know of a lot of people who have used the services of unlicensed um, caregivers, and they've not really had complaints. So it's just something that it's a preference. For some people, they will not even give it a shot regardless of whether they are very good, and some people will not mind because of they know what they want to achieve, and they know that, okay, this person has good reviews, or I know this person, or I trust this person, my child will be all right. It's just a matter of whatever works for you. For us, our own goal is to use a licensed caregiver, whether it's a center or in a school, or even if it's a home daycare. When it comes to home daycare, I personally am not inclined to it, but I think at some point in time, if that's the option somebody has, it's something that you, if you don't have a choice and that's the option that you have, just do your due diligence to be sure that it's a very good recommendable or good reliable center or home daycare that you take your child to. So Sekina was on the waiting list, and to be sincere, I didn't even know what to expect, because there were moments that I have gone to some daycares, just physically gone to some daycares, and you will hear them say things like, "No space." There's not even wait list anymore because it's filled, and some people are on wait list 4 years. Like, some people have been on the wait list for 4 years and they've not gotten. So how much more you, if you get? And it just it makes me wonder. That means you even join wait lists when you're planning to get pregnant, when you're pregnant, when you just have your baby. Those are the times you enter wait list. Not when your baby is ripe to go to daycare. Now start looking for daycare you might not find. And that was just what I just thought of. Anyways, Sekina was on the wait list, and at the perfect time, the time that we really needed, the time that I really needed it, one of the daycares that we are on the wait list reached out, and Sekina was able to go to the daycare like the following month after I gave birth to my baby. I think the following month or the third month, and it made me really happy. Now I'm very hopeful that, because some of these daycares, they have preference to people who have children already in daycare. Their younger siblings can also go to the same daycare. They would give them preferences compared to someone who just wants to start, or a child who just wants to join the daycare. The only downside for me and Semiha is I will not be able to take Semiha to Sekina's daycare when she turns 1, because they start from, I think, 2 years old or two and a half. And Sekina joined when she was almost 2.5 years. So that's to show that I would have to first find another daycare for her if I want her to start daycare early. So this is just to show you that when it comes to childcare, you have to be able to work with your partner. If you're here with your partner, you have to be able to be realistic and see the one that works for you. Some I've been on there's this Facebook group for daycare in Winnipeg, and you will see minders like caregivers and parents. You see how they hustle for clients and for care centers. You see some parents will be saying, oh, they don't even mind if you don't have a license, but you should have this training. And that's because I don't really blame them, because these are people who are already working, but something happened to the daycare. And that's why sometimes I usually prefer centers, because I feel standard centers really close up. That's my feeling. But if you have like a home daycare, if the daycare is not booming or is not making progress, they can choose to just close up and say, oh, you can come and pick your child, we're no more doing. And there's nothing you can do about it, if you know. So a lot of people are always like kept hanging. They have nowhere to keep their kids. They have to stay off work for a period of time, pending the time they find, another daycare available. And these home daycares are usually expensive. Lots of home daycares don't like to collect government subsidy. They will tell you they're not obliged to. And like I said, some of them are not even licensed. So it's always an issue with getting even the slots. Even some of them don't even have slots. Even though we have a lot of home daycare, some of them don't even have slots. So it's a matter of what works for you. Like I keep saying, the care of the child is usually something that one has to just put their best to make sure, okay, we find the right daycare, we find the right community, to help. Because even sometimes when you take your kids to daycares, they can call you. They will call you, the child is not feeling okay, so you either take a day off, or you leave office early. And if you're lucky to have people around you that are not either are off on that day or don't go to work because of my situation, like someone like me now, I'm not working. I've not started working, but even if I started working, I probably would have been on my maternity leave because I have a baby that is under 1 year old. So if somebody that I'm close to needs to drop their child off with me, I will be able to do that, if it is within my capacity. Like, okay, I know that I can take care of this child because I'm not going anywhere. So not everybody has that, but some people might be lucky to have that. So, okay, I can quickly go and drop my child off at this person's place and I can go back to work because in Canada, in the abroad, you earn per hour. So if you don't work in a certain time, you're not going to earn money for that time, regardless of whether they allow you to leave or not. It's still going to be unpaid. So, and that's that about that aspect. For some people, they are willing to work and they are willing to go the length, you understand, to find the daycare that will suit them and their child. Whether they are used to, even taking some of them might be used to taking their kids to daycare or having nannies back in Nigeria, so it won't be a difficult thing for them. The only problem with getting a daycare as soon as you land is you might not get a suitable daycare. When I say suitable daycare, the type of daycare you want, if you as somebody who is used to centers like, oh, like a school setting, if you get what I mean, you might have to rely on home daycares. And I've heard, I used to have negative things or negative thoughts when it comes to home daycares because most of the negative reviews I've seen online about daycares is from home daycares, but I've had people who have said very nice things about home daycares, and I know of people personally who even have who run like a daycare center in their homes, in their basements, and it makes me realize that at the end of the day, whether it is center daycare, whether it is school, whether it is home daycare, just do your due diligence to make sure you are finding the right person who would have your child's best interest at heart. I think that's just what matters. And if you and your husband, you and your spouse are in agreement, if that's the right word, if as long as you guys agree on what you should do, whether both of you are going to work and you're going to find the daycare available, whether sometimes it's even the men that will stay at home. Yeah, actually, and the wife will go to work, whichever one. My husband used to tell me that if I get a job, he wouldn't mind staying at home, but I won't just be able to do that now that I have another baby. But I don't know if he was joking. He can actually be joking about it, but he didn't mind staying at home, and maybe he would have found something else doing. But I would believe he's joking because I'm like, guy, you are the man of the house. You're the one that's supposed to be hustling. Anyways, and I think that's pretty much it when it comes to daycare. Is for me, the advice I would just give is before you travel, just do your research properly. Try and find out daycares available. If you have people on ground, whether you know them personally or people you meet on social media, if you can just help them, tell them to put a call through. But sometimes you don't even need to put a call through. A lot of these centers have their website and they will let you know when you should join a waiting list. So if you can join a wait list while you are in the process, if you know that you've gotten your ITA or you've gotten your admission and you feel confident that you get your visa, you can enter the waiting list. You never can tell. This is for somebody who knows for a certain that he wants their child to go to daycare. It's best to do that on time. That's just the truth. It's best to do that on time. And if you know that, oh, you don't mind taking your child to home daycare, most home daycares don't necessarily have a long waiting list compared to centers. I don't think they do. So you can also just come here and apply to whatever home daycare that there is available. And I think that's pretty much it. Yes. If you know you're pregnant, try and also enter wait list. If you know you just gave birth, try and also enter wait list or waiting list. Is very important. Just do what works for you, and I think that's pretty much it. There's no one size fits all. It's not a one size fits all situation. Like everybody handles it differently, but just know your goals and know what works for you. I don't know why I keep saying that, but that's really the truth. There's one other thing I want to say about childcare, and all the ones I've been saying is for kids, younger, that are not of school age. What I also realized over time, because I have family, I have cousins who have kids of school age, and I realized that there's a certain age, I think 5 years old, when you just start kindergarten, where they close early and you still need to think of after school daycare. That is usually like an issue for some parents, to be sincere. Like, you're happy that your kids are going to school, but at the same time you can't even do full-time job because you need to be able to go pick them up after school, or Better still, you need to find another daycare for them, which is also another hassle. That's the truth. Like that is also another hassle trying to find after school daycare. So everybody has what they go through, because here kids can't stay at home until they reach a certain age, which is I think 12 years old. So they might be able to walk home, but they shouldn't be able to stay home, if you get what I mean, on their own for 24 hours until they reach a certain age, which is 12 years old here in Canada. Some other countries have their different age. That's the benchmark. So it can be a stress for some parents that need to work. And like I said, you have to work to pay the bills. Like you have to pay the bills, to do a lot of things. So it's usually a stress. So just do your research. If your child is of school age, how old is your child? You can start looking for after school daycare too for them, or maybe you just do like a part-time job that gives you opportunity to get back home on time, or maybe a work from home job. That's when a work from home job will make sense, because the kids are of the age that they will not necessarily disturb you too much. They can do certain things themselves, and you'll be able to focus on your work. Just take a break, just a couple of minutes break to go and pick them up. And good thing, schools in Canada or abroad are usually within your area, so it won't take you so long of it won't take you much time to go pick them up and come back and continue with your work. I hope this video made sense. I hope I did not ramble too much. If you have other things or other points or other things to share about daycare, how it has been, how you've been navigating it, wherever it is you are abroad, whether it's not just has to it doesn't have to just be Canada, wherever it is you are, just let me know in the comment section below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share this video so that somebody can benefit from it and know what it is like, having kids abroad or taking care of kids abroad, what childcare is like abroad, and the difficulties that comes with it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're yet to. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be the very first one to know about it. Till next time, make sure you stay safe, take good care of yourself. Bye bye.